Hello everyone and welcome back to Lucky Loaders 15, where I'll be giving you 3 of my best bets for tomorrow's racing, where we'll be focusing on the really good card at Deauville. Now before I give you those selections, might as well start off. We've got the good news today that Newcastle will be allowed to race on Monday. They finally got the government position and it's great that we can get back to racing. I would have been pretty annoyed, to be honest with you, if we hadn't got back racing, because that means that all the hard work the BHA have put in to get a good fixture list up and running, to kind of at least give the horses enough time to recover, and we can have all these good races that we get every year, and hopefully the horses will have enough time between races. It's not ideal, but it's not the worst thing you've ever going to have seen in racing. So yeah, it's great that we can race again, and hopefully we can have a good week of racing, and there's some nice races too on show. We've got the Guineas next weekend, and there'll be some good group races. Some good horses will start coming out, and hopefully we can have some enjoyable racing and we can look ahead. But before I give you those tips as well, sorry to waffle on, I just want to say that at the current time of recording, I don't know how my next best has gotten at Dieppe. My nap unfortunately became a non-runner, so that one's void. But our Longshot Heaven's Night, she ran a really good race. She finished in 3rd place in the end to collect the each way money from our Longshot at 8-1, and that was a good result there, and hopefully the next best can come in later. But anyway, the tips for tomorrow, and we're going to start in the 250 at Deauville with a horse called Irska. Now this horse is currently 4-1 and will be my nap, and is trained by a trainer called Marcus Nitsch. And Hugo Jerniak is booked for the ride tomorrow. Now this horse is unbeaten in her career so far. She's 2 wins from 2 starts, and she won a really nice little race at Saint-Cloud last time out when making all from the front, and she caught a lot of people's eyes that day. And she was given a quote for the Prix Diane, which is the equivalent of the Oaks here, so it's known as the French Oaks in English, and she was given a quote of 33-1 best price. So they obviously do think quite a lot of this filly, and it's interesting that she's going to be going against the boys. She's the only filly in the race, and therefore she'll get the filly's allowance. And the form of that Saint-Cloud run has worked out okay, because the 5th place horse was a horse called Galinka, and Galinka went and won at Lyon Perilly the other day. So Erska's form is looking quite strong, and at 4-1, I think that's representing good value. I know Andre Fabre's got a horse in here called Ocean Atlantique, but I'm just not convinced now with Andre Fabre. They seem to have turned a corner last week, but some of their horses in the last couple of days have been running below par. Maybe they're just not the best in his yard that he's been running, but still, I just think that this horse, Irska, could be a special filly, and it's interesting. Like I said, they're stepping her up in grade against the boys. They obviously think a lot of her, so she's going to be my nap, and hopefully she'll get us off to a good start. We then stay with another filly with our next selection in the 325. I'm going with a horse here called Honeycake. Now this horse is trained by Henri Alex Pantel, and Vinceau Chouminot is booked for the ride tomorrow. Now this horse finished 6th in the Prix de la Grotte, which is the Group 3 trial for the French 1000 Oaks, and we'll see how that race worked out on Monday when they run the French 1000 Oaks, because that race was won by Andre Fabre's Tribut, and it's often seen as, like I say, a good yardstick for that race. But Honeycake, I thought, ran all right for a long way in that race. She's very keen and very buzzy, but she actually ran better than I thought her finishing position suggested of 6th place. I think she'll come forward for that run. Henri Alex Pantel said she needed the run, and if you actually look back at her form, she's only run twice before that race. And the first time out she finished 4th at Deauville when running on really strongly, and then she went on and broke her maiden tag the next time out. And I think that's the key to this filly. She often goes better after having a run. And at 14-1 tomorrow, with some fillies in here that may be a bit exposed or maybe don't have as much scope, I think this horse has got a massive chance at 14-1. Also as well, Henri Alex Pantel, he has been having winners that have been cropping up at big prices, and I just think this is a great long shot bet tomorrow, and it's going to be, like I say, my long shot for the day. And at 14-1, I think it's a cracking each way bet, and hopefully we can have a good result there. We then end with my next best in the 435, the sprint race, Group 2, and I'm going with a horse here called Colt. Now this horse is trained by Fabrice Chappé, and Stéphane Pasquier is booked for the ride. Now this horse has got a good record at Deauville. He's won twice there in his career, and he's a horse who likes to get on with things from the front. and he's going to be in a perfect draw at Deauville tomorrow. He's going to be drawn right against the rail, and if he can use that early on, get a good start, get in a great position like he normally can, I think he just might have a bit too much toe for some of these. I think the ground will help him as well, even though he has had good form on soft ground before. I think maybe the ease and the conditions should be okay. Currently good to soft at Deauville. And even though he's taken on some of the same rivals he met in the Prix-Saint Georges at Longshot a few weeks ago, I think Colt will come forward for that run. Fabrice Chappé did me a couple of favours the other day at Clairefontaine when they had the race in there. And for me, I think this horse is pretty much good value tomorrow to go very close at 8-1. I think he should be a lot shorter in the betting, and for me, he's going to be my next best, and hopefully we can end off the month of May with a good result. So yeah, they're my 3 best bets on the card at Deauville tomorrow. If you haven't done so already and you want more tips for when the British racing comes back, I will also as well be covering the French Guineas, and I'll be probably from time to time maybe giving the odd tip in France. So if you enjoy the international racing, give us a thumbs up, subscribe for more videos. You can follow me on Twitter as well, using my handle on Twitter, which is @LuckyLoaders15. Make sure you follow me on there, where you won't miss a single link to anything that I'm involved with in racing. I run my own podcast, I contribute from time to time on other people's channels, so make sure you go and follow me on there if you haven't done so already. Check out my website at www.chrisloaderracing.co.uk for a full list of my portfolio. Please gamble responsibly, and we'll be seeing you soon.